I have been maintaining a GitHub repo for 7 years now of awesome TUIs. If you're not familiar with what a TUI is, it's a terminal user interface. And this was just something that I collected for myself because I kept finding cool tools and I wanted to put them somewhere and I kept forgetting about them. So I thought, well, I could put them in like a bookmark bar or something like that. But I was like, well, if I'm going to put this together, why don't I share it? So on a random Sunday back in July of 2018, I just wrote them all down. And I said, okay, let's just figure out what we want to do with this and put them out there. And literally the same day, I had other people contributing to this list. And that was fantastic. It was not at all what I expected. People just started adding things that they're like, oh, this has a interface, let's put it in there. And it was great because not only was I learning about a bunch of stuff, but it wasn't just me trying to find everything and collect them. This was never intended to be an exhaustive list of everything that exists in the world. And I had some rules on things that I didn't accept. I didn't try to accept things that just had like interactivity of prompting for inputs or formatting output. So if you run like a bash script and you wrote a bunch of formatting to say, make this look pretty or something, I didn't really want that. I wanted something that looked more like a user interface and was interactive in more ways than just formatting output or taking a couple prompts for what the input is. And over time, this grew and grew, and I ended up making these kind of general sections of different things, different types of tools that I found were pretty common or at least overlapped in some way, and then just collecting them. And anyone that wanted to contribute did. And it's been fantastic. You're probably familiar with some TUIs that are generally used. Things like htop. It gives you this interface that shows you a bunch of information. It's interactive where you can scroll through things or change the output in some ways, stuff like that. And that's exactly the type of tools that I was looking for. And so today I'm going to show you what my favorites have been. I'm going to try to find the coolest tool in each category and show you what that looks like. We'll walk through a quick installation, usage. These aren't tools that I use every day. They're not things that I even knew about before people contributed to them. So it's just an overview of the things that I found that someone submitted and I was like, that's amazing. More people might want to know about this. And here's the full list of what we're going to go over. So feel free to jump through on the bookmarks and just jump to the tools that you're interested in. If you've seen all of these tools before and you know what they do, drop a comment, because I will be very surprised if people know what all of them do, because as someone who's been collecting these for 7 years, I was surprised at what they did. I'm also only showing you tools that have some activity within the last year or so of development. These aren't tools that I think were abandoned, because there's been plenty of tools that have come and gone over the years that weren't maintained anymore, got forked and someone else took over, stuff like that. And thank you so much to everyone that has contributed pull requests to clean those up, because again, that's just something that I can't do myself. There's hundreds of tools in here and I don't know all of them. So if you built a TUI that you want to share with the world, feel free to send a PR. I'm generally open to accepting most PRs, but again, I just try to make sure that it's an actual unique interface. I don't want like a wrapper around FZF or some bash outputs. I want something that is interactive and unique in certain ways. But if I've learned one thing after maintaining this list, that's that there's a lot more out there that I don't know about. So again, we're going to go through these categories, and this is just the order they're listed on in the repo. It's just alphabetical based on however we kind of group them up in anyways. So many of them are development heavy, or at least sys operations heavy, because that's generally where people want things to work over SSH. But in any case, these should be able to be used on most Linux systems. Some of them do work on Macs, but I don't have a Mac. I haven't tested it there. And the first one is actually from Facebook or Meta or whatever. It's under Facebook Incubator and it's called Below. And again, if you're used to tools like htop, this is going to be familiar to you. And they have a bunch of ways to install it. They actually have official packages in most of the major distros. This is a Linux only tool. This one won't work on Mac, but it should be helpful on a Linux box. I installed it with actually our RPM OS tree because I'm using Bluefin, which doesn't work in any of these, but it does use RPMs for packaging. So it's similar to this top line, but don't worry about it. And the cool thing to get started is you just run Below live. So let's give it a start. Now, right off the bat, actually, let me zoom out just a little bit here. Right off the bat, you're going to say, wait, why'd they build htop? What was the point of this? Why build another htop? And there's two things that Below does that htop doesn't do, and I think it's really cool. The first thing is it's actually cgroup aware. And if you're not familiar with cgroups, you've probably heard of it with containers. What you may not know is most modern Linux distros, everything's cgroups. Everything is grouped in this sort of hierarchy of processes. So all of these folders here that you see that I can expand are a C group. And so if I look at my user slice, that's what systemd calls them. Systemd calls them slices. They're C groups. They're a C group grouping of resources that you can kind of look down. So I can collapse that and say, oh, look, my user is using 33% of the CPU. And then I can drill down into it and find what's actually using that. So if I look at maybe OBS, as I'm going through these, I'll try to call out some of the keyboard shortcuts if I'm using them. In most cases, you'll probably have to read the README. Some of them may also have like help output. But here we go. I can look at OBS. I'm recording this right now on this same desktop I'm using, and I can see it's using 15% of the CPU. I can see all of the other resources here. The thing I really liked was with the tab key, there's these middle tabs in the here, so I can go to CPU, I can go to memory, I can go to IO, and I can see when it's writing to disk, what it's actually doing to the disk, which is really cool that htop doesn't give you some of these sorts of views. The other thing that Below does that htop's not going to do is it actually lets you pause the system, like stop right here, I need to look at something. So I can go PR. Oh, actually it's space. So if I hit the space bar, we'll see up here at the top, I have live paused. And I went into this pause state where I can say, okay, just everything freeze. I want to dig into what happened at this moment. And they also have a systemd unit that runs like a service that you can start collecting this stuff over time. So if you want to say, look at Below from what happened 5 minutes ago, my system locked up, what was it? What was the process? Something like that. You can actually start Below and look back in time at what was happening in your system. It gives you some things that you might get with like a central logging or monitoring system, but it does it at like a local system as well. So I can do it on just my desktop and I don't need to put all this infrastructure in place. It just writes to disk. Two of the downsides that I saw with Below versus something like htop is just I'm not familiar with the output very much, and some of it's not as scannable friendly to me, where there's no colors, there's no graphs, things like that. And so looking through like all of my interfaces, like all this network traffic, maybe I don't want to see all of that. It's kind of hard to scan through some of that. And if you are using it for snapshotting information over time, it doesn't do any compression. So they recommend using ButterFS, like transparent compression on your disk. Most people probably don't know how to set that up. It's not something that's gonna be common. Facebook is a big ButterFS user, so they obviously know how to tune this. But in general, for like, hey, I just want to casually look at something, this is something that I would probably reach to occasionally just to be able to like look back in time or say, hey, my system's been crashing every week or something like that. Let me start this just to log things for a few days, and then I can go back in time and say, oh, when did that crash happen? Let's see what was actually causing it, because it has really cool ability to zoom in to things and then come back out and see the overview. The next tool is in the development category, and this is posting. Posting is a TUI for sending HTTP requests. If you're familiar with things like Postman, this is kind of the same idea, just it works in your terminal. It's a Python app, so they have a UV install or a curl to bash. I don't know if this one's available in Brew. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like you could install it with Brew as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And let's start it up. So we can do a GET request. That's really cool. Right off the bat, it's cool. Like the mouse works, like that's something that I'm sure the keyboard works too. But I can scroll through things and look at stuff, but also click around things, because TUIs aren't necessarily only keyboard and mouse. They just optimize for that when you are really fluent in how it works. So let's go ahead and just find a free API that I can curl. All right, so let's just get a random joke from an API and see what it does. So if I just type that in, I like that it would accept a curl command too. That's cool, because it would parse it. I get my status here, 200. I walked into a bar once. It really hurt my head. Not even funny. But we can scroll down here. We can see headers. That's pretty neat. You can see it goes to Cloudflare. No cookies or scripts. We can get a trace of it. Pretty sweet. I'm sure if you really use things like Postman and these other kind of GUI wrappers around sharing different API endpoints and how you curl them, this would be really helpful. I know it also can take things like YAML files for configuration. So there's a bunch of things this can do. It's not something that I typically do. Most of the stuff I'm testing is just curl, or I'm doing some load testing on something. But it looks really nice if you want a tool that manages all this stuff, all your authentication, gets you more information about the URLs, the requests and everything. That looks really nice. I have no idea how this is funded or who builds it, but it's a really cool tool. The next category is just generally containers. There's so many TUIs for different container things. People are familiar with K9s for Kubernetes. Again, there's just a bunch of them out there. This was the one that I liked the best, Oxker, partially because it was still maintained and partially because it looks the best. So they have a cargo install, but they also provide, of course, a container to do what you want. So let's run the container. Let's get out of posting. And you're going to see here, it just, the Docker container is, or the command is pretty standard. We're going to remove it. It gives us interactive. We're going to mount the Docker sockets, read only, and we're going to pull the image. So let's run it. I already have a few containers. I mean, I'm basically always running some containers. So let's go ahead and run this and see what it does. Looks like I'm just running a couple right now. I have a local registry, I have a build kit, and I have an app called Memos. So right off the bat, I can see my logs here. I can see my CPU and memory usage. No ports are open on this one, but if I go to maybe the registry, and I'm just using the arrow keys to scroll through this. Oh, it looks like I'm blocking this this bottom ports down here in the bottom. It does show my ports behind my head. There, let's get me out of the way. That works. So you can see the ports, which ones are published, basic logs. Pretty cool. You can stop, restart, delete it up here in the corner. If this is a remote server, I bet it would be great. I bet this would be something that a lot of people would really want. Like, this is a single Docker host. I just run some stuff on it. I actually wonder, I bet this works also. Let me see on my Synology. I have a Synology where I run more apps than just my local desktop. So let's run it here. And the Synology runs standard Docker. So this is, again, it's a great, remote sort of, I don't have Kubernetes here. It's just running containers. Let's see what it's doing. Oh yeah, much better. So this is cool. We got, I got my registry, Victoria metrics. Some of these are down. They failed, or I stopped them, whatever reason. They're just not running. But I have a bunch more on here. That is cool to be able to see them running. I don't see logs. Oh, it's parsing logs. There you go. So yeah, some of these, I mean, obviously they've been running for a long time, in more of just like a permanent run them and forget about it. So it's going to take a little longer, but still pretty neat. I don't see my ports coming in. Oh, Homebridge wouldn't have ports because it's running on like the host namespace. So that would probably be why. This Synology is also pretty old at this point, so it doesn't have a lot of CPU. I'm not too surprised if this kind of slows things down if I'm trying to run it and parse all this information. But in general, really cool, a nice, clean, modern-ish, Docker TUI that you can use. There's, again, a bunch of them out there. This one had the most features and looked the prettiest to me. Next up is editors. And of course, Vim, VI, NVim, Emacs, all that stuff is our editors. I picked a random one that you can draw with because this just looked really cool. So it's actually like you can pick your colors, draw, it does animations. Let's install it and see how it works. OS repositories probably won't work for me, but I could do it inside of a distro box. So let's go ahead and start up a Ubuntu distro box and then see if we can't install it here. All right, let's see. So here's a standard Ubuntu sort of installation. Let's see how this works. Durdraw, there we go. All right, so I have a menu, new, clear, info, color picker. Can I just, no? How does this work? Let's get a color. What? Okay, I can just, I can type things. Is that how all it does to draw? Okay, so I watched a quick video and it looks like you can tab goes over here. Tab, yeah, that's okay. Let's go to the color, and then I can't click, but I can use function keys. These, there you go. F. Oh, okay, so you could draw with these. Wow, that's that's kind of fun. And then they said escape bracket. Interface is not very intuitive, but if I was like drawing something I wanted to have as like a welcome message or something for a server, you know, message of the day sort of thing. This actually looks pretty neat. I can cycle through all these little shapes. Oh man, look at that. No. Oh, there you go. Escape menu. So it gives you, it's all, you know, keyboard centric, of course, because it's a TUI. Character select. That's cool though. You can clear it, open, save it. Yeah. Escape menu, quit. Yes. That's fun. I don't know that I would have ever found this. There were some other drawing apps in the list, in the whole list in editors. There was a couple other ones. Most of them didn't look like they could be nearly as, they weren't as full functional as Durdraw was. So check it out. Very fun. All right, next up is file managers. There's a bunch of them that come and go. This seems to be a pretty common category that people write. File managers. Superfile looked like the absolute best one. Brew install Superfile. Superfile. You just installed it, did you not? SPF. Thanks for using Superfile. Yeah, you get like a whole like tutorial walkthrough. This is cool. This is your first time. Make sure you read the getting started tutorial. Wow, this is impressive actually. They put some time in this onboarding. That's cool. Sidebars, press focus sidebars. So again, it's all keyboard centric. Really neat. If you forget the realm of keys, question mark is usually get you out of any of these TUIs to like figure out what you're doing. Okay. What? Where am I? Oh, this is in temp. Okay. Control. Okay. So I get, you get like a preview of it over here. Whoa! What did it open in? What is this text editor? I don't know what this is. Okay. It opened in something, but I don't know what it is. Can you go to, how do I guess, oh, okay. S brought me over here. See, I needed to watch the tutorial. Home Superfile has, oh, and they can open new tabs. I don't know how to do this. But if I got used to it, I bet it'd be powerful. Because you can do all like file copying, panel movement, all this stuff is like super configurable. It looked like one of the more, you know, robust modern. It wasn't just like a NNN is a very basic file manager. It works, it's fast, but also it's, you know, sometimes you're like, oh, now I have to open something else to actually do what I wanted to. I gotta dig into this one a little more. SPF looks pretty sweet. So go check that one out. I might actually want to make that one part of my normal rotation of tools. The games section has a bunch of pretty basic games, things that I'm like, yeah, I kind of expect that to be games. There's some Tetris, there's some Snake, there's things that you would probably think. I like the Wordle one. The chess TUI looked pretty full featured. All right, normal game against the bots, display default. What is multiplayer? Are you hosting or joining? Let's host. Chess TUI, multiplayer, hosting. I'm white. Chess TUI, multiplayer, joining, and I'd want. Oh, sweet. Whoa, that's really jacked up. I don't think I liked my characters. So what do I do here? Okay, so I enter. Sweet. And it's just, all right. Enter. Okay. Completely pointless, but fun. Is it messed up because this terminal is so small? Let me quit out of this. And I can't figure out how to quit out of it. So let's just kill the whole thing. Yes. Okay. Chess TUI. Play against a bot. You didn't specify a chess engine path. Oh, okay. So you get your own to use the right, chess TUI. I don't have an engine. Normal. Okay. So they're just a little messed up in my terminal. I'm assuming I'm missing some characters. When I look at their screenshots, like they don't look messed up like this. So there's probably some character set that I don't have, or some shapes that are missing on my host. I don't know what it would be, but still like, it doesn't feel like a TUI. Like, this feels like it could be any sort of web browser or app sort of, okay, this is how you would play this game. Oh, it even flips. That's fun. Oh, but that's okay. A little confusing, but fun. Question mark for help. There we go. Zoom in and out. Space selects a piece. Okay, and I can get all this normal arrows. Escape, hide, quit. But Chess TUI seemed cool. It was a little more advanced than some of the other games, so I like it. Next category is libraries, and these are all things that you use to make other TUIs. So this isn't necessarily something that is generally useful, but also still, you know, if you're designing this, go ahead. In some cases, I tried to highlight. Someone else actually opened an issue and then started a PR to like put it in bold to like at least see what the languages are, because that was like a big thing where people are like, I don't know what language this is in. So what do I do? We wanted to put icons or something to represent it. I just haven't. There's a bunch of them, but like bubble tea is a really popular one. This is written in Go, or it's usually for Go utilities. Blessed is the Python one. There's a bunch of them in here. I guess there's a Blessed Node.js one too. All right, so Ratatouille is a common Rust one, but I did pick one that I liked, which was neat that it works for shell scripts. So you can just shove. This is a tool called Gum. It's from the same people that make bubble tea and a bunch of other ones, lip gloss, all this other stuff. But you just put it in your shell scripts and it puts output that is pretty. So again, this is something that I wouldn't want to accept as a tool on the list. If you wrote a bash script and it used Gum, I probably wouldn't want it. But as a library that allows you to write your own, I think it's fantastic. And that's cool. So if I install, how do I install Gum? Installation. Okay, so they have a brew install. Let's go ahead and install it. Let's run it. Okay, so I got choose, confirm, file, filter. Wow, there's a bunch of cool, a little spinner style. Let's look at those examples again. Commands, log outputs. So this looks like, I mean, it looks like it combines a bunch of other tools that like FZF and just standard bash stuff in like a more friendly, readable sort of way of doing this. It kind of stinks that you have to have this extra binary, but also it's kind of great that you can just do this with one binary, and it would parse all this information. So like these little spinners are cool. Let me see. Yeah, buying bubblegum. And you just get the little, well, like super modern, cool thing that happens. And you can put that anywhere. What are the other spinner options? Oh, there we go. Now we got an error. Spinner must be line dot mini dot jump. So if I do line, there you go. You get the stick moving around. What is jump? Man, see, this is just fun. Okay, I love it. This would be something that I would have spent so much time just finding the right spinner that I wanted for my scripts. What's hamburger? That's cool. I've never seen that before. It's tiny, but it's cool. It's just a little flair, and I like that. So Gum it's kind of a library, but it's more just a wrapper for different outputs, and it's meant for bash scripts. And I think that's great because anyone can use it, and you can use it in a very simple sort of plug it into anything. It's not portable. It's not something that like you would expect that a server has, but if it's your server and you want this cool outputs, you could build a bunch of really neat animations and tools with it. Let's jump to our next tool, messaging. Bunch of messaging stuff. This is probably one of the categories that's churned a lot. There's a lot of tools that come in messaging that just like they die. Slack had a bunch of them for a while. Discord has had a bunch of them. Telegram has had a few. There's a bunch of them that just come and go. People maintain them for a little while and they don't really care anymore. The one that I'm calling out that I think is cool that I want to actually use more is Gurk. Which is it's signal messenger. I'm not actually going to connect it to my information because I do use Signal. Please enter your display name. The display name is used within the app to identify users locally. Is not shared with others. What is this? So this is just Justin. Enter the passphrase we use for encrypt the SQLized database. I just typed a bunch of stuff and I don't actually know what I typed because, yeah, I was just seeing if it would show up. Let's see. Okay. Where do you want to store your passphrase? Config file, don't store it. Prompt at CLI startup. That works. Sweet. And so you get a QR code you can scan, and that'll connect it. And that's a typical like Signal flow. Like if you have the Signal app installed, it should work. I'm going to go ahead and do this, but I'm going to cut this part out of the video. Let's see. Sweet. So I think it worked. Signal, if you're not familiar with it, like the way it won't give me all my back history because each device has its own encryption. So that encryption is not stored locally. So I don't get the history of information. There's no backsync. As I start sending messages here, they should show up. Let me send a message to my friend Autumn here. Test. There you go. And so I see it show up. It's just a random channel, and it should just have my test message. So cool. But yeah, it looks like it does sync. Any new messages are coming through. Oh, she just messaged back. Perfect. Thanks. So I like it. It's really cool. Nice that they have a terminal client for it. Another one that I will probably put in my rotation. I have the Signal app installed, but sometimes it's just like, oh, I'm remote on a system. I want to be in a terminal, whatever. Fun times. The miscellaneous section is very miscellaneous. It is extremely miscellaneous. There's a bunch of random stuff in here that, again, I didn't know people wanted to do in a terminal. But it very fun. I'm gonna call it one that I think is super useful, and I had no idea it existed until someone sent it here. Caligula. I don't know how to pronounce this. The worst name ever. But it's basically a TUI interface for the DD command for copying ISOs and images to USB drives. So let's go ahead and, again, I don't even know how to spruce search. Not there. So we got to install it some other way. How to install? It's in official repositories. Of course, it's an Arch. Let's see. Binary releases. So binary releases are on GitHub page. So whenever I see that, if it's not in a package manager that I like to use generally, but they do have binary releases, I usually do something like bin. This is a side quest to TUIs, but it's a binary manager that works well with GitHub releases. So it just is going to, if there is a binary published, I can just go bin add. So, and then the URL of the repo. Nope. What is it? It's bin install. Bin install. So I can send it that, and then if there's only one binary published, like it figures out most of the time. It's like, yeah, no, we got it. Like it's fine. If there's a list of binaries that are released, it'll prompt me and say, hey, which one are you trying to actually install? So Caligula. Okay, cool. So we can get a burn help. Let's just do burn. How do I get the TUI? Burn this Talos 110. Does that work? Is this okay? Input. Is this okay? Yes. What's the file hash? Press escape to skip. Okay, and then it gives me this, but that's not what I wanted. I do like that it prompts me that, and it shows me the type. It's disk removable. This device. Is this okay? Yes. Yes. Oh, cool. Okay, so when it writes, aha. Nice. So is it writing? Burning. It says it's burning at the top. I don't see any action yet. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it just gives me the output and a graph. So it's an interactive picker, and then it shows me the like write speeds basically. That's pretty nice. I'm gonna use this one if I could ever spell it. I DD all the time. Occasionally I'll use a disk imager or something like that, but this would be much easier in a terminal. Oh, it does a verify. Okay, I like it. It's a fun little rewritable graph. Done. So that was the like a very useful random thing. Again, there's a bunch of stuff in random that is again, it's miscellaneous. It's whatever you want. There's music players. I was using a Spotify player from there for a long time. But yeah, it's a fun little category. Oh, multimedia. This is where my Spotify player was. So, okay, there's a bunch of multimedia stuff. GopherTube is the one that I thought was just like, this is just over the top, and I love it. Do I need it? I think it has to install with pip, doesn't it? I don't know if there's a brew. Let's see if there's a brew. Nope. GopherTube, search, Justin, controller. I don't know why things are showing up twice. Watch. Found. Well, oh, okay. So it played externally. I don't know how to minimize it or get back to it. Okay. Can I? So I could download. I can listen or I can watch. Listen. I love hating brew. It has all the stuff I need, but also like it's just not fun sometimes. So now if I go for tube, search. Now do I get, hey, there we go. Now we get previews. Infrastructure for entertainment. It's a bad, it's a bad image. It's completely unreadable. Yeah, that's me. That's it. But fun. Okay. So if I click this, watch, it's still going to open MPV externally. It like pops up a window up here. Yeah. And I can't change the size of this window, and I don't know why. All I can do is close it. But good times. So there's GopherTube. I thought it did some more in the terminal, but I guess not. It's just a search for YouTube. Still pretty okay if you're just trying to find some stuff. The next section on here is productivity. There's a bunch of like, this is kind of weird. Like they're very specific in what type of productivity you want to do. There was way more tools than I expected. The one that I'm going to call out as my favorite, and again, I'm only looking through these. I'm not like digging into every single one, is SCIM. It's a spreadsheet manager. And I saw this and I was like blown away by what it could do. Where's our install? I can brew install SCIM. Sweet. Let's see. Okay. SCIM. Boom. Just works. This shouldn't exist, and I love it. Let's zoom in. So if I tutorial. Sweet. I love it when people put tutorials. They have a 14 lesson tutorial. Okay. General. What is this? What? I'm genuinely confused here. I don't know how to start this tutorial. Oh, these are lessons you do in SC. Okay, wait. Now I need to do this. Now I need to try it. Okay, let's clone this. Quit? No. Control C. Quit. Enter. Oh, it has like command. So is it Vim? Escape. Enter. Okay. And then I want SCIM. Sweet. Okay. They built a tutorial in their own tool. So actions, show help, save file, set options. How do I just like edit? Is there an insert mode? No. Quit. Yeah, press the arrows first. So we have a bunch of numbers here. Wait, press GOC 3, enter to go to column C. Oh, I did. Oh, wait. 3, enter. Yeah, okay, so it went. It didn't change the highlighting. GG to go to first cell on the sheet. Sweet. Okay, so there's a bunch of Vim-like things. Scroll down, scroll past the page, ensure in normal mode. Status bar is normal mode. Yeah. But if I hit I, it doesn't go into insert mode. How do I do that? Okay, now I'm invested. Now this is cell formatting, copy and paste. Modes. Insert edit mode. 7 mode. 7. Go to C0, press =1 and C0 =1. Nope, equal 1. Okay, I got it. Kind of. I don't know. I don't know how this works. But I bet someone is amazing at using this. How do I escape? Enter. Oh, I gotta force. It's Vim. It's escape. It's Vim spreadsheets. Love it or hate it. You could love and hate it. That's fine too. Okay. Pretty cool. Very advanced, and I love that they built the whole tutorial in the spreadsheet itself. All right, the very last category here is web, and most of these are web browsers of some sorts. This is probably the one that if you've seen any of these, you've seen the one that I'm calling out here, and it's Browsh. This one, you can just brew install it, and then it's Browsh. Nope, Browsh is, didn't I already install this? No, there's Brush. How did I install this? Oh no, that's right. I did the Docker container. That's what I did. It's not available in Brew. I just did the Docker container because it's gonna like call out to Firefox, and good luck. Good luck doing that integration somewhere. So here we go. So it's a web browser. It's a web browser in your terminal, waiting for Firefox, and then it connects. If I hit Control L, I can go up to the URL, and then justingarrison.com. And that's me. That's my website. So I can scroll through. I have no idea. Like, you can click on things. You can read stuff. I don't know why you would do it this way. But you can. And that's cool. Does the back button work? No, the back button does not work. B? Question mark. I don't know. I don't know how to get. Oh. I don't know how I got how I just did that. But it's a browser. It's a horrible browser that you can sometimes use in certain situations. I don't know why all of my images are so bad. Like, let's zoom out a little bit. Like, I guess it looks okay when it's like really small, but I mean, the idea here is that you could use this over like an SSH connection and I don't know, get around a firewall, something. Who knows? You're looking at like 10 pixels. So maybe it's okay. But that's everything. That is every category. Those are my favorites TUIs that people sent me. I think it's just fantastic that people write stuff for a terminal and for like terminal first. Like, you want keyboard input. You want it to be accessible over SSH. You want it just to whatever the reason is. Keep doing it, because I think it's great. Keep sending them over. If you have pull requests, if you have a cool tool that you like that isn't on the list, please send it. It is sometimes hard because we take out things that are like, oh, this is deprecated, or people shouldn't use it, whatever the case may be. I have to say no sometimes. I'm like, this doesn't make sense for what I'm looking for, because it's not interactive, or it's not redrawing on the terminal, that sort of stuff. So yeah, sometimes it's difficult, but I really appreciate the people that have helped me find these tools, contribute, maintain them, submit them, remove them if they're not needed. It's a lot of fun. If you knew all of these tools, like, leave a comment. I will like send you $1. That's amazing. Like, if you knew every single one of these, like, yeah, I use that, no problem. Like, it's, of course, why wouldn't you use SCIM instead of Google Sheets? Okay, that's amazing. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks everyone for watching. If there's another one, again, you can leave a comment, but please send a PR. Let me know if there's another tool that I'm missing that should be on here that you think is useful, is cool, is unique, whatever it might be. So thanks everyone. I will talk to you again soon, and keep being awesome.